have gone into lockdown. We haven't gone into lockdown yet, we're just doing videos, but we've got you a couple of little exercises that when you're at home, this can help with your mobility, this can help with you basically still doing golf moves and still staying active. And you're in your own house, so it doesn't matter what you look at, look like, no one's going to judge you that much there. So we've got a couple of little fun things we do with the kids. Sometimes we will do with group lessons, even though I haven't done a group lesson this year. But this is what we will do with the kids for a bit of fun, a bit of a laugh, but still work on that golf movement. Tom has bought the bucket of joy. What is in the bucket of joy, Tom?
We've got
I love that.
the monsters.
The monsters.
Lots of spongy balls.
Yeah.
And lots of spongy balls.
And are the tent pegs for vampires in lockdown or something?
Actually, that could be quite handy for stopping my 3-year-old.
Okay, so what I've just said is, let me just, without wobbling around too much, okay, so what I've just said to the lovely people at home is we do this with some of the kids or some of the adult groups just to keep people moving, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, because golf is a very dynamic movement sport. There's lots of things about what happens to your various joints and stuff. But if you're in a good position to move, you can be, not necessarily like Em and Tony who are fit and run long races. You could be like me and have too many pies and too many chocolate bars.
Tom, have you seen me move recently?
still move better than me, I tell you. So yeah.
So I think the thing is, people, like, it's so easy at lockdown to get just to sit and watch Netflix, as I did last time. So even if we can kind of get people doing this for 5 minutes a day or a couple of times a week, and there's no excuse, like we have no excuse if we are not working to be able to do stuff like this.
Yeah, it's all really straightforward, and it can even become that kind of 2 minutes, 3 minutes before you play, and it's amazing how much influence has on the swing.
So we're going to start with this bad boy. We may have had a mouse in the coaching cabin. It does look a bit sad. We're going to start with this bad boy.
Essentially, actually, although we're going to throw this with our arms, you're actually having to move the body a lot because you're throwing it two-handed.
Yeah.
There was a thing a few weeks ago on Twitter or Instagram where you had Lee Westwood doing this with a medicine ball.
Yes.
Throwing it against the wall, and a lot of the physical guys came out and said, even though it might not have looked like a golf movement, it really helps in terms of range of movement.
Especially with a lot of the time is now, is if we lose mobility, the body is the first thing that stops moving. So instantly, squidgy, scary face with a hole in its eyeball is probably the most essential practice aid you can have for lockdown.
And it's just straightforward. You kind of into a set-up position, you kind of feel yourself nicely balanced, you're ready to catch it.
And then you launch it at me.
All we're going to do is just throw it straight towards them.
Good catch. So any of you that do know that I'm slightly obsessed with speed sticks, they talk about a left side and right side swing. So Tom has just launched the scary face at you. What I would then suggest is not only just doing it one way that you swing, is that we do it the other way as well. Prevents injury, but also kind of keeps the mobility side both going. Yeah,
because it's like we see a lot of kids who get very sport specific, maybe at a young age.
Yes.
And they get injuries down one side of the body. Well, part of the thing of a lot of physical training for any sport is to make sure your body stays in its relatively natural state.
Yeah.
Because that then allows you good range of motion.
So that's what we would say, as much as some of you might not enjoy it. Yes, we want to work on strengthening and keeping one side mobile, but we have to keep the other side mobile, otherwise we will probably injure ourselves, especially with this bad boy.
This is a weird thing. So basically it's,
oh my gosh, it's like Ninja Warrior.
The weird thing is, I can't remember who I actually heard this from. It might have been somebody at the PGA, about how in America, where they have their marching bands in high schools, about how if they took somebody out of a marching band, they could usually swing a golf club pretty well, because what we're working on there is control of range of motion.
So if you see there, you are moving wrists, you are moving elbows, you're moving your shoulder, you're moving pretty much all of your top half, aren't you?
And if you're doing it like here, you know, I've got one of them speed sticks. If you did this with a golf club, you've obviously got a weighted end on it.
Yeah.
So you're having to work around that weighted end.
But
And again, going in a couple of different directions, and then maybe even trying to do it through your hands. Again, where some of us haven't maybe got as much mobility for whatever reason in our hands, just doing some simple things like that just keeps all of that moving around. Or well, even sometimes I'll get people just doing that sort of thing. So you just start working, again, always in both directions, so that you're maintaining range of motion. And you'll be amazed how many of you, like straight away, I got my left hand, I've got less control and I find it more difficult.
do you have a set of nunchucks at home? Because it looks like you're proper Ninjaville.
I look just like Bruce Lee, don't I? Yeah.
Hey Bruce. left brain, right brain? Oh no, is this one you have to think about it? Because I couldn't.
No, not really. So you think, again, lots of kind of hand-eye coordination things, knocking the ball up.
I always find that's quite fun on one foot. Yes. Yeah.
So then you're having to work on balance.
Yes.
And because you're knocking it up rather than, whoops,
Oh, Tom.
let's get another one out. Because you're knocking it up, you're also remaining continually moving, which is what we want in a golf swing. We don't want you static.
It's good for core stability.
Yeah, massively. I mean, I remember Sherby doing things. He used to be able to do things with a medicine ball and 1 foot on a Bozu.
Oh gosh.
Ridiculous, but again, it picked it up the speed. So that could be really good. And again, even going very specific, I'll do it on juniors well set, and they've got to go really low down, and then they've got to come back up again. That's quite a good one. Another thing where people often talk about golf and hand-eye coordination and things like that, which is kind of very left brain, right brain sort of stuff. We've all probably done this at some point in time, of some variation, where you get the ball in one hand, you got to pat the ball up with one hand, and then you've got to rub your tummy with your other.
Oh my gosh.
And again, you swap around. So you end up thumping yourself in the gut and bouncing the ball up and things like that. But it's a way of, you know, somebody says you need hand-eye coordination. Well, how do you
improve that?
That's a really simple way of doing it.
Yeah.
Getting your both sides of your body, both sides of your brain operating and working.
So this one's quite a good one. We've done this before with some of the kids.
Yeah, a lot of the squads and stuff, haven't we?
Yeah. So what we do, we've kind of set 2 alignment sticks up as a cross, and we have so I've got a tennis ball here, and what we're going to use, and you can do this with both feet, both arms, we are going to push the ball as far up at the alignment stick as we possibly can, and then we are going to go and pick the ball up. And then the last one. God, I can't even do it now. Wow. So that works on obviously flexibility, which I have none of. That works on flexing and rotating. That works on balance, coordination, and me working out I need to get fitter. Oh gosh.